Robbie Gordon will be able to catch up to the remainder of the field before the start. He still has about a mile before the front row reaches the green flag. Very nice alignment here in 4. Robbie Gordon still sitting in the pits with radio communications trouble. The pace car begins now to accelerate. Scott Brayton, the pole sitter, leads the front row around. Good alignment on the front row. Pace car is off the track now. They're a bit straggled beyond the front row. Brayton begins to accelerate. There's the green flag. And the 79th running of the Indy 500 is underway as Scott Goodyear sweeps across the outside and into the lead. Ari Lyondike ducks into second place. And we've got a car into the wall. Right off of the first turn, 2 cars tangled. One of them is Eddie Cheever. The other looked to be Stan Fox. And the front end of one car cut away. The rest of the field slows.
All right, Paul, in turn 2 we can see debris, the main bad thing. Debris, broken race cars, laying all over this race track. Clear down into turn 2, all the way from turn 1, clear down here. There's Dan Fox sitting right in front of us there. The biggest thing the guy's going to have to worry about when they come back around, cutting their tires and all the carbon fiber laying around.
So we've seen 3 cars. Eddie Cheever is out of his, Stan Fox is his, and it looks like Lynn St. James, the 3rd car. She is still in her car. A.J. Foyt down in the pit area, no longer in two-way communications with his driver, Eddie Cheever. But the yellow flag out right here on the start. And there is DeFerrin trying to drive a broken car back to the pit area.
Paul, the track is blocked so bad down here, they're going to have to put the cars down on the pit apron to get them through in my area.
Let's go to the pits, Gary.
And a quick radio report from Paul Tracy. Paul, he said, Tracy told his crew he barely missed that accident as it happened. He said it's the luckiest thing that's happened to this team this season.
Well, a first lap incident is one of the great fears. Here it is as the leader, Scott Goodyear, came off of 2. Now watch way up in the corner. Suddenly 2 cars get together, and that was Cheever and Fox. The field darts to the inside, many using the warm-up lanes, which were only built here a few years ago, but probably saved many drivers here today. Stan Fox looks like he got into the wall incredibly hard. We're concerned about him, very concerned. We'll keep an eye, and we won't report anything until we actually have it confirmed.
You can see as we look at this second replay how many tires and suspension pieces began to come off the cars right away and affect cars that really were not part of the original accident at all. Lynn St. James was one of those who was tagged by flying debris. Here's the 3rd one from the car of Bobby Rahal, who of course started fairly far back in the pack. Watch to the right of the screen, and there's where the debris is already bouncing around. Remember, carbon fiber is dark gray in color. It's very hard to see against the track, particularly on a day like this, so it's easy to pick up a flat.
It would look from my vantage point down here in turn 2, Sam and Paul, that something must have broken on the Fox car because it immediately made a right-hand turn. That's not normal.
We're back live in Indianapolis, still under yellow after a first lap accident, first turn actually. The field is still circulating on lap number 3. These are the cars that we believe are involved in the crash. Eddie Cheever, Lynn St. James, Eric Bachelard, Stan Fox, Carlos Guerrero, and Gil DeFerrin. This is regular speed. Now look back in the field. See, it looked like Cheever was right down on the grass as Fox and Cheever got together, and then everybody else involved.
The trouble started in rows 4 and 5 with Stan Fox and Eddie Cheever. Stan Fox, low down, appears to lose control and go across the track up toward the outer wall and strike Stan Fox. And strike Eddie Cheever, I'm sorry. It's Fox going diagonally across the road and striking Cheever, who was running along the outside. The trouble began in rows 4 and 5, and then because of the debris and bouncing tires, it involved Gilles DeFerrin, who was in row 7, and Bachelard, St. James, and Guerrero, who were back in row 10.
Sam, something caused that car 91. Just watch it as you look down low there. And you'll see it. It just makes a right-hand turn. Now just watch it on the right there. Purple car. What he did is I don't think he got touched or anything. He lost the rear end a little bit to the right. The car hooked, it immediately made a right-hand turn and right straight into the wall. Of course, that's what we're really worried about with Dan Fox the most. He really hit the wall head on.
Yeah, took the front of his Renard off. Looked like it may have been Cheever, though it might have been Fox. Got into the grass, lost the back end, then turned up in the wall and started this melee here at Indianapolis. The caution is on now. Now tonight, Sybil Shepherd stars as Stormy Weathers on the ABC Sunday night movie. And tomorrow, Roger Moore in a world premiere movie, The Man Who Wouldn't Die. Go to the movies with ABC tonight and tomorrow at 9, 8 Central Time. They're still working on Michael's car.
He's obviously told them that it didn't feel good after he touched the wall. Of course, we don't know exactly how hard he hit the wall, but it made something because Michael has a super good feel for things like that.
Villeneuve back into the fight. The terrible Andretti luck. Michael Andretti climbs out. Many thought this was his best chance ever. And Michael Andretti's out of the car.
I think it's just sad for everybody. I mean, you just really know. He's really controlled this race, really been quick, and we all thought he might win this one.
He was driving just the kind of conservative race.
Let's go to Gary.
Michael Andretti has come over the wall. We believe that it was a rear wishbone. We have the video contact where he was trying to get around, we believe, Gugelmin, and apparently got the rear up there. They believe it's a bent suspension. As soon as he gets the helmet off, he's huddled with Tim Bumps, his crew chief, his engineer, Peter Gibbons, his wife, Sandy, is there, and we'll try to get a comment. Boy, we thought maybe the Andretti jinx would be passed. But apparently that's not the case, Paul.
Let's take a look at that replay. Maybe we can see exactly what happened to Michael. I'm sure that's what he's waiting for, as no, we've got another car in trouble. And the yellow comes out.
Sharp.
Now here is Michael Andretti. Yeah, that's not a brush, that's a solid hit. So as we come back to live coverage, that is Scott Sharp that you saw just get into the wall just before we ran Michael's replay for you, and the yellow light is out. This is the third caution period of the day. Scott Sharp obviously okay. His rescuers are right there. Let's go back to Gary Gerald.
The helmet has come off, and Michael, I don't know what to say. Every race this year you've been a leader. What happened in this situation?
I guess Maurizio was coming into the pits because he slowed down, and I had to run, and I went to the outside because I didn't want to hit him, and it's like ice, and I hit the wall.
How had the car been performing up to that point?
Beautiful. Best I've ever had here. The car was great.
Was this your best chance to win the 500?
It was one of them. One of them.
The story in the eyes tell you so much.
That's what happened when a car gets out of the groove. Now you can watch right here. He's coming out. He's out of the black, what we call the groove. He's in the gray. The car just doesn't have as much adhesion. His tires probably aren't very new, and boom, look at the right front. Hit the wall fairly hard, even though it didn't bend anything that's obvious to us.
All right, now, here's another view. That's Gugelmin as he was trying to... No, actually, Gugelmin was way down low there, and there you saw Michael as he came up, brushed the wall, hit it hard enough to do damage and to take him out of the race.
But what happens in a deal like that, Paul, is that shot really started way back in the short chute because of the speeds that we have. So Michael got out into the gray and just couldn't get it back down into the black.
What all this does is give Scott Goodyear the lead, moves Gugelmin to second, and Paul Tracy to third. This was Scott Sharp's situation. Same place on the track coming off of the fourth turn.
You know, that could also mean that there's some fluids down there, Paul. We should think about that, too. You know, a little water, oil spillage that you can't see.
Well, you heard Michael say it was very, very slick there. You saw that Scott Sharp was okay. But we'll keep an eye on that section of the track as the United States Auto Club officials are. And we're under the third yellow, the third caution period of the day with Goodyear as the leader.
Just 24 years old, just reflecting on Villeneuve today. Bobby, what a great day it has been for this man to make up that lost ground and to be running in a position to win the race.
That's just what I started to say, Sam. One of the biggest stories today is that young man leading that blue and white car. There's Scott Pruett, though, taking a run at him. But just to think, he got a 2-lap penalty. We almost rode him off, and now he's leading the race.
First three cars running right together. Pit stops are due just any old time now for these cars at the front of the order, especially for Jack, as he leads Scott Pruett down the backstretch.
They talk about Jack entertaining offers from Formula One. Of course, his dad was a great Formula One driver for Ferrari. He was killed in the early 1980s. It'll be interesting to see whether Jacques makes that move or stays here in IndyCar racing.
Look at Pruett as he takes the lead, and the yellow comes out. Wow! Look what that does. That means that the pits close. We've got Davy Jones into the wall. It means that as he was going for the pits, Pruett was able to pick up the lead from Villeneuve. Then Villeneuve saw the pits were closed and veered back out onto the racetrack.
Will he have enough fuel?
But a good call.
Will he have enough fuel, though, now?
Let's go to Jack Arute.
Sam, you're exactly right. We saw it happen one time before with Scott Pruett. Their concern on Team Green is they wanted to run this one as far as they could. They cannot afford to have the pits closed for more than one lap because they have to come in and take on methanol as soon as possible.
Unbelievable. There you see them ready to refuel the car and unable to do so with the pits closed.
So they wait at Team Green, hoping that they will get this field gathered up quickly and Jack can get into the pits. Remember, that was his problem before, but they don't have him gathered up. The pits are still closed. You see the sign, no pit. Now, he is at reduced speed. That's going to help him a little bit.
That helps him, and if this works out, of course, that projects him that much closer to the end of the race.
Another thing you guys want to keep in mind, these fuel tanks, the pickups on them are made to pick up the fuel when they have centrifugal force going around the track. Sometimes when you're running slow, they quit picking up fuel. Let's hope they don't get in the air now.
All right, here's the view down from the blimp. That's Villeneuve in the front of the order here. Now watch, he started down into the pits. When he slowed down, Pruett took over the lead. Then he saw the yellow and stayed out on the track.
Boy, was that quick thinking.
Boy, quick thinking.
I think the officials are going to have to do some rethink on some of these pit stop no's.
Now here is a situation with Davey, who just got high coming off at 2, right in front of the VIP suites and up against the wall. He appears to be okay as a result. Here's another view of it.
He had Davy Jones did a very decent race going for himself. You've seen him able to hold off Bobby Rahal. You see him now above the groove there in the center of your screen. He's in deep trouble already. I would think, wouldn't you, Bobby?
Yes,
no chance.
Once you get that far into the gray, where you pass the apex on the corner near the exit, that's it.
All right, so the pits are now open, and we expect Jack Villeneuve to head down into the pits.
There he is.
I
can see him in there. He's about the third car in line.
Well, what you have is all three of the leaders heading into the pits. Pruett, Goodyear, Villeneuve. Now is the time when the crew will turn them totally loose and say, race it on your own. As Jimmy Vasser picks up the pace. Matsuda heads into the pits as they come back to green. Vasser passes him. That's Goodyear sliding in just behind them. Pruett can't get it done. Drops 2 wheels below the line onto the rumble strip. Battle for the lead in Indianapolis. On the backstretch. Pruett still tries to close, but Vasser now gets up a full head of steam and is rolling.
Jimmy Vasser fought off Pruett terrifically there. What style, Paul. He just knifed back across, had none of Pruett's effort to pass it.
Yeah, it looked to me like that might have been a tie right down in the apex of that corner.
What? Boy, but what a chance he took. See that car there, number 9, 5th place? They're going to give him the black flag. Excessive speed on the last pit stop. So Rahal will have to make a stop and go penalty. He was going 109. Supposed to go not more than 100. Now let's go to the pitch, Jerry Punch.
Checking in on what Jimmy Vasser's going to do, guys. Here's the scenario in the Vasser pit. I talked with Tom Anderson. They pitted on lap 156.
Whoa, another car into the wall, and it's Vasser. Vasser into the wall.
Unbelievable, unbelievable.
Every Indianapolis 500 has its own character. There's his crew.
Disbelieving. He had such a fine ride going.
From feast to famine. That shows what happens, the pressure that you get from the sprint car race to the end. And that's what this race has worked itself out to be.
Watching to make sure Jimmy Vasser's okay. The rescue crews are already there. He takes off the wheel.
He's disgusted, Paul. He's really disgusted, but I think he's all right.
By the way, going back one accident to that of Davy Jones, he climbed out of the car, went in for a routine check at the medical center. Debris all up and down the track now from Jimmy Vasser's impact with the wall. Let's take a look at it. Look how high he is there.
Completely out of the groove. There he is, kaboom. He just went into the turn too fast, it looks like. Got out of the groove. Once you get out there, especially when the groove is very dirty this late in the race, that's where all the little rubber deals off, the tires have gone, all the little trash. Look at him going out there, kaboom, right into the wall there. It's just too loose out there. The guys have to stay in the groove.
So the leader of the race crashes. Jimmy Vasser, as he was anticipating the stop. Scott Pruett picks up the lead. Let's go to Jerry Punch. Pruett, during the Gulf War, we went out on the carrier, the Theodore Roosevelt, and he really appreciated the time to go out there. Just noticed in the news this week that carrier's been sent back to the Adriatic. They're big race fans, though I know that they're maybe doing the ship in circles, grabbing the satellite just to watch this, and they've got to be cheering on for Pruett.
Tell you how good Pruett is. While he was testing the Firestone tires last year, that was his season, he did some Trans Am racing and became the Trans Am champion, sort of in his spare time.
Very gusty out here in turn 2 right now. Really gusty.
There's traffic just ahead now, so traffic is going to enter into the equation here very shortly. 16 Pruett grabs the wall. Got a little high, back through the inside.
I told you the gusting was really bad. You just can't help it. The wind just all of a sudden came up, and I'm sure that's what got Scott Pruett.
Villeneuve moves to second place as Pruett catches the wall, and the yellow light comes on again with 16 laps to go. Pat Patrick, he's had winners here. It won't happen today, but he was so close.
The dusting out here, Paul, must have gotten up to 30, 35 miles an hour just before that happened.
Windsock over here on the front straightaway is standing straight out on top of the scoring pylon right now.
Bobby, he was having to really drive the wheels off that car to stay with Scott Goodyear, wouldn't you say?
We knew that it was going to be what we call a trophy dash right to the end. I can't knock what Scott Pruett did or tried. He tried the best he could. I really think he got caught by a real heavy gust of wind.
So Scott Pruett, with 16 laps to go, catches the wall. Let's watch for him.
Oh, he just came through there, and you can just see he almost hit the whole wall sideways, or hit the car sideways, right almost even. The rear end was out just a little bit. It's just a gust of wind, I'm sure.
He tried everything he could to catch it. Once he got the wall, he was totally out of control, cut the gearbox off the back of the car as well as the rear suspension, and did some damage to the fence there. Here's one more view of it, Sam.
He slides out at the back. Watch the tail of his car get a little wide here. He tries to fight the car to steer into the slide. It's too late. He runs out of track.
Almost verbatim what happened to Emerson Fittipaldi last year. Almost the same thing, the same way.
Except in turn 2 for Scott Pruett. And there he is as he catches the wall and slides on along it. Let's go to Jackaroo.